All right, 170 and 171 are blank.
On a Friday night, Chief Constable Wally Tomaszewski isn't at his home in Port Jefferson. He's on the village streets working with members of the Code Enforcement Bureau.
He drives around in his unmarked vehicle. He finds people violating village code and then calls the uniformed officers in. So he's a working chief. He's out here working with his officers. And that's one of the things that impressed me about Chief Tomaszewski very early on, was that he's out here leading from the front. In law enforcement these days, all too often you don't get bosses like that. And here we have one.
Tomaszewski, or Chief Wally, and his constables, appearance ticket, and parking violations officers enforce village codes.
We look for people drinking, pre-gaming.
Chief Wally and his crew of 41 deal mostly with disorderly behavior. Teenagers drink alcohol in their car and in public. The consequence, a summons and a $150 fine.
So we went from one person drinking to 3 drinking.
If you observe someone that's doing something wrong, all right, speak to them, articulate what the problem is and what they're doing wrong, and request that they cease, all right, because there are consequences. Is he cooperative?
Affirmative, sir.
For instance, people urinating in public are fined and issued a summons. Tomaszewski said usually they have already been drinking. Appearance ticket officer Tony Barton said the chief taught him how to deal with people.
A situation where, you're imposing either a fine or you're yelling at somebody, and basically de-escalate that into a situation that you can handle and where everyone kind of goes home happy. And even in situations where, the people aren't really going to have any of that and they're going to go home mad no matter what, it's just, how to deal with people, how to speak with people, and, how to kind of do this kind of work.
This kind of work includes enforcing parking in the village. A handicap ticket is the most expensive parking ticket in the village. The fine, $230. And if you ignore it, the cost doubles after 15 days and triples after 30. The Code Enforcement Bureau collaborates with Suffolk County on a variety of things, like bar raids in the village.
We all operate as one unit. All right, and everybody has a specific job to do. When the police rush the place and go in, my guys and other police officers block off all the exits, the means of escape.
Code Enforcement Bureau Lieutenant John Barrero said Wally works well with the police department.
Uptown, we're having a lot of movement with drugs in the last couple of years. I can't divulge a lot of that, but he has a professional way of doing it. We're watching people, and we're passing on information to Suffolk County Police, helps them. Well, he's good at that.
Tomaszewski used to work for Suffolk County Police and was Code Enforcement Bureau Chief from 1981 to 1996. Chief Wally returned to his job in 2006 and has lived in the village for 35 years.
It's my town, so that's probably why I work so many hours, and I don't get paid for it, because I love my community, and I have a sense of, wanting to give back to your community.